What's up, everybody? This is Chris Farley from Pace the Nation and Pacers Running. I am in Austin, Texas here at the running event. Thrilled to be with two-star Brooks athletes. Psyched to have Josh Kerr and Nia Akins here. Josh, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. We've had a nice busy week here, and first experience at TRE, so I think both
first
of us are loving it.
And, Nia, first experience for you too?
Yeah.
Wow, I think this is my 20th TRE. It is amazing. It's a whirlwind. Kind of like sensory overload. You feeling that too?
Yeah, I think just trying to get the training in as well. And just finding spots to get a run in was difficult. But look, I think we're here to launch some amazing stuff for Brooks, and being able to be part of that journey is massive.
Awesome.
And we've had a hand in some of the products that are coming out, and I think it's really important for us to be here and explain that.
That's really, really cool. Nia, same for you. Are you excited to be here and excited to see the different side of the running world? You guys know the professional running world, but all the retailers and everybody who's buying the thousands and thousands of Brooks shoes has been a cool experience for you this week?
Oh yeah, this has been awesome. Honestly, everybody at Brooks works so hard, especially the shoe team, and I feel like we've been kind of what Josh was saying, along for the journey the whole time. So to kind of be here at the end of the line and see the product here it's awesome.
That's awesome. All right, so we are here at the running event, and I want to introduce the Washington, D.C. audience to two of the best athletes, not only in Austin this week, but in the world. So we've got two world championship runners. Nia, you were 6th at Worlds in the 800 and the U.S. champ this year in the 800. That's unbelievable. Let's start with U.S. champs. Were you surprised that you were able to take home the gold there?
Yes and no. I think going into it, I told myself that it was a possibility to win and to make the team, but to actually do it is so surreal. So it's
amazing. And in such a great women's 800-meter field these days, I mean, it probably always has, but now more than ever, I think it's just such a competitive field.
Yeah, and it's just, honestly, I'm honored to be kind of peaking right now while everybody's running really fast. And yeah, I'm hoping I can mix it up this year too.
I'm sure you will. All right, when we've got the world champ, which is pretty insane to say, it's kind of, I mean, we're months and months past it. Has it sunk in that you're the world champ?
I think, I think it has sunk in. It's sunk in a little bit different than what I thought it would. Everyone kept asking me for days and weeks afterwards, like, is it sunk in yet? And I'm like, I don't exactly know what's supposed to hit me. And I think what's hit me most is this is now the new bar and the new standard, and everything that I do is going to be with a world champion mindset, and going into everything, every session, every meeting that I go into, and the people that I'm hiring for helping me as much as possible. And then the way that I work with Danny is like everything is to just win things.
You messed up. That is a high bar now, man.
Yeah.
And we talked about the competitive field that Nia's. You got Jakob, the best. What people will say the best in the world, and you took it to him.
Yeah. No, people people say he's the best in the world. He's not a world champion, but he he's definitely he loves pushing boundaries in the 1500. He loves running fast, and when it comes down to it, our sport is defined on one day every year, and I was able to get it this year, and my job is to do the exact same thing next year.
I love it. Yeah, we're leading into a big year with the Olympics in Paris. I was just asking you about, because I understand the U.S. trials, but UK, same system, same trials. How did that work for you to get to the World Championships?
Yeah, it's an interesting system. It's mostly to do with, we don't quite have the depth that the US has. So for us, it's top two past the post, and the third spot's discretionary. I was able to go in and have good conversations with British Athletics, and I said, look, I think it would be very beneficial if I could run the 800 at trials, get a couple of 800 reps in, and run hard rounds. Because in the 15 sometimes we run pretty slow. It's not windy and cold and rubbish. So, we talked to them before, and they gave me that discretionary spot before the trials, and so I was able to go and have the best prep for Worlds, and they knew I was in a position to go and win, and they allowed me to kind of do that. So hopefully a pretty similar setup this year, and again, we're just going after medals.
Love it, man. And you know what, Nia, he uses words that the Americans want you. Rubbish. Do you use the word rubbish? I love rubbish. How would you define rubbish? What does rubbish mean?
I don't really know.
You don't define.
Sometimes Josh talks and we all just nod our head.
Rubbish. I love it. All right. So we want to talk a little bit about Brooks and the support that they give you. Brooks, our number one partner in Washington, D.C. with Pacers running. Why'd you decide? You've got a lot of options. Why'd you decide Brooks? What was it for you, Nia?
It was the team. I had honestly a great team culture in college, and I knew that that was a big part of my success there.
Yep.
And I wanted to find something at the professional level that felt similar to that. And when I met the team on my official visit, I was like, this is it.
Yep.
And talking to Danny and his philosophy and how he kind of peaks people at the right time in the season, I just knew that that's where I wanted to be.
Love it.
Yeah.
And for you, Josh, kind of the same thing, the team, and obviously the product. I see you like having the product around your shoulder when every time you win something. So it's got to be the team, but it's got to be the product as well.
Yeah, I think, for me, when I was looking at the brand as a whole, I think that was really important coming in, is making sure that, when I go after something and when I'm a part of a brand and a new family, like I live it and I breathe it. And I think there's a certain standard that comes with that is, when I'm out there running for Brooks, I truly want to believe in the product I'm wearing. And so it means that I can be authentic to the audience that watches. And, that was a big part about, like we were discussing before, we're a part of this process. Is there something that we
it's
don't
cool.
like, then we can talk to the people. We're in Brooks HQ pretty much every day.
Wow.
And it means we can work with the footwear teams, the apparel teams, and have product out there that we believe in and that we believe is some of the best in the world. So that was a big part of the process as well, is believing in the company. And then obviously it starts with Danny for our team, making sure his training philosophies really match with mine, and then working with a team and a brand that I think that we can feel comfortable with and excites us.
And you're authentic to it, man. I see you win, Fifth Ave, and you're like, you're taking that moment, because you don't get a lot of moments with Lewis Johnson afterwards or whoever's interviewing you. And you take that moment and really sing the praises, which is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I think this is, it's an individual sport, but there's such a team of people behind you. So,
Yeah.
you have that interview and you're there on your own having a conversation with someone. And I think it's important to bring the people that have helped you get into that position. I had ran Fifth Ave the year previous and it didn't quite go well. And, that's, it is what it is.
Yep.
And I had to go back and have the conversations with, the teams that were making product. And I said, look, we need to be better. And they made this unbelievable product and it ended up in a win. And why not take the time to thank those people that have just come out with such an unbelievable product in the Hyperion Elite 4. So I think those are the moments where it's like, it's not about you, it's about people that helped you get there.
All right, real quick ones here. I really appreciate your time. I want to know what's up next. We'll start with Nia, and then I want to talk to you about what your guys' favorite shoe is from Brooks. So what's up next? Is it Paris? Everybody knows, the Olympics, and when they come around, the world tunes in. Is it Paris? But what is it now between now and Paris?
Yeah, everything right now is building up to U.S. trials.
Yep.
That can't go to Paris without that.
That's right.
So that's kind of the big cookie for me right now. The goal is to show up for indoors for a little bit. See where my fitness is at, and then go from there.
That's awesome. And Josh, for you, obviously you've medaled at the Olympics. You've been a world champ. I mean, obviously it is the biggest stage, but between now and then, what are you looking at?
I'm looking to really just follow the path that we've already kind of written out for us. A big thing for me is just taking it step by step. You can't just arrive there at the Olympic final and think you're going to be ready to go. I think it, officially starts with, getting the winter training in, getting through that injury-free, no illness, no injuries, getting through there, hitting indoors, and again, it's tight bands, staying away from injuries, getting the right races in, and really be competitive. I think it's really important to stay close to competition, and then it's the build-up of can we be in a good position to run, trying to run 3:27, 3:28 on August 7th. So that's where my head's at with it. It's a step-by-step process, and you can't be too overwhelmed because, look, if you get one of those steps wrong, you're not going to be in the Olympic final. And, it will be my 6 major championships, and I think it will be a fun one. And I know what that process takes, and I know it's not getting too far ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I love that it's August 7th. That's awesome. All right, now, I said I was going to get to the shoes, but I do have one more question for both of you. As an old guy who just ran a marathon and my hamstring's killing me, you're right. You guys push it to the red line, but not over, because that's important. Neither you can get injured and have little things here and there, but you got to stay consistent. You got to stay healthy. How do you guys push yourself to that level but not past?
I think it's just knowing your body really well, and I think Danny does that so well. I think that's his main job, is to know how far he can push us, and for us to be just honest with where we are body-wise, like how we feel coming into training, just having those open communication and conversations where it's like, we've been at TRE for the last 2 days on our feet, and we have a session tomorrow morning, like, let's be careful with it. That's not one that we need to push too hard. Things like that, it's just about being smart with it, because every time you have an injury, if you take a step back, you're like, oh, it's probably because of those things.
Totally.
And so if you're in that situation, you just have got to have a bit more of a step back and overall view of things. And it is. It's, if I know that if I don't miss a day of training between now and the Paris Olympic final, I'm going to medal and I'm going to be in a position to win. So that's the biggest thing for me right now.
And Nia, kind of how do you push it to the line but not over?
Yeah, very similar, I think. Just kind of like having really good conversations with Danny and our PT Sarah, and then Kyle, our nutritionist. I think making sure all of those bases are squared away, and then listening to your body, pretty much exactly what Josh said, gets you pretty far. It's
a lot though. There's a ton of factors that people don't think about. It's not just going out and training for a couple hours a day. It's all day. It's every day. All right, we're gonna get to the product. We got some beautiful shoes here. Nia, what's your favorite shoe, the training shoe that you run in? I know the Glycerin 21 is just coming out. Is that a shoe you run in?
The Glissies.
The Glissies. Oh, awesome.
The Glissies are my favorite for sure. They're just really soft and also pretty stylish. Like I just walk in them a lot too.
I will say that Brooks has really upped the game on how the shoes look. They've always felt great, but I got to give props to the footwear team.
Yeah.
They're looking pretty solid.
Honestly, I think like most of the beasts wear the Glycerins.
Glycerin,
yeah.
Okay.
If not the Glycerins, then the Ghost, but I think that's like 2 out of 3.
All right, Josh, you're a Glycerin guy as well?
I'm a Glycerin guy. It came from Garrett. Garrett was, back in the old times where the shoes weren't quite looking as sexy as
they were athletic back in the day.
Athletic. They were all-purpose. They were all there for the run, and now we're, branching out to. I mean, look at these colorways.
Totally, dude.
That's what we're talking about.
Totally.
We were actually I ran for the first time in the 21s today.
Love it.
Amazing. I think it's everything that you love in the Glycerin, but it's just a little bit more technology. It's a little bit more knowing the runner. I think, for us, I think my shoelace came untied, and I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
We have
awesome.
the stealth fit on today. And I was like, Nia was like, oh, you're going to have to do your shoelace up. And I was like, this must have been for miles.
Right.
And because it
fit was so good.
Fits unbelievable. So, I've always been a Glycerin guy, and, the 21s are no different. Which is
and it's great to see that the performance stuff is really catching up to the, if you're a marathoner or, or a 5K, I mean, you got some really good performance stuff.
Yeah, the Hyperion line that is coming out next year. I think that's the thing that we've been most involved in. The performance line, just making sure that we're having product that is good enough to be at the top of the podium. And that's what we love to do. That's what makes a big difference in our job. And I think that's what excites us. And then this is our everyday training. This is what gets the most of the mileage in.
All right. Well, we're rooting for you guys. Thank you so much for your time. You guys are awesome. I mean, you are busy folks who took some time this week to spend time with retailers and some people who are really passionate about the sport. So I think it's really important. And you guys are this was a crazy articulated, great, this was really awesome. So I hope we can see you guys at more events like this. I really appreciate it because I understand the amount of time and energy it takes away from what you're trying to do, which is win medals, and that's it.
Yeah, I think, for us especially as well, it's a really good opportunity for us to connect kind of the elite, racing, running world to, the actual just, the corporate side and then the more running store side. I think for us, the energy on the racing side, especially coming into an Olympic year, is so, it's so electric. And I think everything in this sport is starting to really move towards just being bigger, being better. And for us, it's like, what can we do to connect those two sides of the sport and just keep the energy going?
Love it. All right, we got a couple world finalists, world champ. Man, thank you guys so much. Nia Akins, Josh Kerr, Brooks Running. We're at the running event in Austin. Thank you guys so much for joining Pace the Nation.
Thank you.
Thank you.